Hi, Stephen, VFD people. Just a short video on some benchmarking I've done with accountants over the years. The background to most of these figures I'm going to show you is that I was asked to give a talk to a group of accountants about 10 years ago. This group were meeting for years. Every 2 months, they'd get together and they shared all their information with me, all their accounts and everything else. So I went through it all and I selected 5 benchmarks to compare them and presented it to them. And these are the benchmarks I picked out anyway: profit per partner, average hourly rate, fees as a percentage of salary, individual salary to fee, and what I call theoretical maximum fee. Now, this to me is the most important one of all. 10 accountants in the group. No surprise, the usual thing with benchmarking is every single one of them had a different figure, but the range was absolutely massive. The biggest was over 200K, the smallest was 28K. So, even ignoring a bit of an outlier here, like B and C are probably like they're 4 times I and J. D and E are at least double G and H. Huge variations in profit per partner. And you see it in all these figures. And next one is average hourly rate. You take the annual fee, look at the number of staff, and you just use 1,700 hours as being the standard. 3 times 1,700 is 5,100. Divide the fee by the total hours. 252K divided by 5,100 gives 49 as an average hourly rate. And you do it for each practice. You can see again, look, the variation, every single one of them is different, and A is more than double J. Very interesting what came out of this though. The woman, I'm just going to call her Mary, who was J, who was down at the end, she had the lowest average hourly rate, 24 euros per hour. She got a major wake-up call when she saw these figures. She didn't realize she was so to whack with her peers in this group. So I did a bit of work with her for a couple of months. And so what did she do? I got her talking to similar size practices. So I got her talking to C and D and others who were at a higher rate. And what she learned is that her charge-out rate was lower than theirs. She was charging less than them for a certain amount of work. She was taking longer and so on. She made a few changes and we updated the figures 2 months later, and her average hourly rate went from 24 to 36. And at the end of the year, she had an extra 100K in fees and pure profit. So that's the idea of, to me, the real power of benchmarking is where you learn from the people who are at a higher rate than you. So J can be learning from G at 35 can be learning from D can be learning from A, and so on. And even A can be learning from people outside the group, because there's people, I know people who have an average hourly rate of 82, 84. So this is the real power of benchmarking. Average hourly rate. The next one is fees as a percentage of salary. I know some of the big four, I remember meeting a director from one of those firms before. This is the metric he focuses on. It's splitting out the fee that an individual brings in versus their salary. Now that's by practice, but it's the same principle. The old thing of a third, 3 times salary. Well, one of them is hitting it here, you can see. And when you break it down by individual, it's even more interesting. This is a practice with 16 staff. This is just a sample of them, and not their real names, obviously. But you can see the people here at the bottom. Look, the fees 27K, salary 45, 60%. They're not even covering their salary with the fees they're bringing in. Sean is the same. Both of these are below 1. Robin, Brenda are kind of, in between, 148%, 157. And Valerie and Helen were bringing in more than 2 times their salary in fees. But you can see the average for the practice is 1.9. And here is what I call theoretical maximum fees. So what you do is you take, let's just say practice A, you take them, if John is a charge rate of 100 euros an hour, let's say you expect 30 billable hours, it's 3 grand a week. Let's assume he works 50, keep it real simple. 3 grand by 50 weeks is 150K is the theoretical maximum fee. And you work it out for each of the billable people in the firm and you compare it to the actual fee. So you can see here, look, the 79.8% is about as good as I've seen. A lot of practices I've seen are at about 60%. So the actual fees, annual fees, are about 60% of what they would get if they charged their people out and recovered at the full rate. Some, look at these down, 48, 46, very low. So they're the benchmarks again I've used. Thought it might be useful for, some of the groups you're talking to, or some of the people who have the VFD software. Okay, chat soon.